Yes, listening, what happens, it invokes the principle in your mind. So now, even if the mind is pushing you towards anxiety, but at the same time you recall these principles, the mind, short of not able to influence the intellect to accept that I am in anxiety.
Yeah, I haven't felt as anxious as I used to feel. Last week has been a change.
Last week, yeah. It may come up because of the past impressions. So knowledge part is extremely important, and so the practice is important. Because the mind has been heavily conditioned, days after days, weeks after weeks, years after years.
Yeah.
So it returns with the same impression. And the intellect says, okay, go for anxiety. And you are there.
Yeah, after I stopped crying, I started kind of trying to figure out what made me cry so much.
Yeah.
And in my internal talk with myself, I asked myself, where did my happiness go? Because
right.
It doesn't feel like I have felt super happy in a really long time. And it just made me sad that I'm not as happy as I used to be. And I asked myself, why am I letting all of these situations that are outside of my control my feelings?
Okay. Yes. I'm listening and also understanding your mind.
I feel like I was trying to swim against the current for the past 7 months, and now I have finally just let go.
But there is a progress.
Yes.
There is definitely a progress.
Yeah.
So we have to intensify it. First, keep the self-awareness practice, which is hardly 10 minutes. The first time that I gave the 2 practices and the 4-step relaxation. The moment you go to the office, you sit on the chair, the 4-step relaxation is a passive practice. Nobody wants to see. So put the earbud, eyes open, and do the practice.
That's what I did on Monday. I started listening to the practice while I was at work.
So not only listening to the practice, but actually you are doing it. The second is that at least 4-step relaxation you should be doing at least 2 or 3 times. We have to release those past impressions that returns again and again. The second is an active practice, at least minimum 2 or 3 times. It again takes 10 minutes. Nobody is going to complain if you are sitting in a restroom for 10 minutes. Do you have a restroom in the office?
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't have air conditioning though.
So don't put any condition. Don't put any condition. Even it is better, so that you have a level of endurance. If there is no air conditioning, tell your intellect, let me have an endurance to live into that temperature and do the self-awareness practice.
Okay.
Don't ever think that somebody is listening outside. So in that practice, what we do, it is hardly 1.5 minutes of quick and fast breathing from the chest, and doing 3 to 4 minutes, and you already know the minimum 3 times during the day. if you are not out of the office. Or if you are out of the office, you are sitting go to the car, let the car remain parked on the, and then you do the self-awareness practice before you start driving. I had one beautiful woman like you. She is in web design. So more or less she had the same problem. So I asked her that the moment you park your car in the office, first do the practice before you enter into the office. So once you return, sit in the car before you drive to your home, do the practice. And 2 or 3 times you do the practice inside the office, either in the restroom or with eyes open.
Okay.
Just follow this week and see that what happens.
Okay.
Now, progress is there, you are understanding, but we are going little deeper what practice we did last time.
I did want to tell you that my brother works with me, so my brother saw what happened, and he told my parents about it. And my dad called me yesterday, and my dad's a doctor, so he went through this explanation of why people are depressed, and he was telling me about the family history. About my grandma suffering from it and my dad suffering from it.
So you will also suffer as long as you live.
Yes, he says that it's in my genes. And he's really recommending that I start taking medication, which
I won't say yes or no, but at the same time you are knowledgeable, you are intelligent. Go through those research studies that refutes the cause of these problems is genetic. Which one you have to believe?
Right. He was saying something regarding the neurotransmitters in the brain and the brain not releasing enough chemicals, and
if he says this, tell him and ask him both. In a very deeper relaxation of the body, mind and emotions, you are going to release those chemicals. And it will be released much faster than the chemical pills that you take.
Yeah.
There is not one research studies, there are more than 200 research studies. We are deviating, but I'll spend only 2 or 3 minutes. There are about 100 research papers, not 100, but I would say more than 10,000 research studies have been done during the last 3 decades on these practices. But notably, specific research studies were done in California. They say a regular practice helps not only release those chemicals which are conducive to your calmness and the peace, and the term they use, it leads to neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity?
Yeah. What is that neuroplasticity? The brain has been heavily conditioned because of your experiences of anxiety. So it has created a certain pathways, and that remains present in the mind. In any situation, it triggers and leads to anxiety. But when you are doing these practices, the brain pathways changes. So what you are doing, you have a path, for example, you have a pathway of anxiety. You are doing the practice, it goes very deeper. So now the brain pathways is going to change from the anxiety to the peace. Second thing, when we say neurotransmitter, it is, let me say, neurotransmitter is a chemical. So from the chemistry point of view, from the biochemistry, there are neurons. There are about 100 billion neurons in the brain. So on the very tiny, very thin, you can say the thread-like structure. Normally, I'm just giving you a simple example. So neurons, what happens? When the neurotransmitter, that chemical jumps from one neuron to the other, that is known as a thought in biochemistry. I'm just giving an example. Now question comes, if these chemicals are responsible, no doubt, if these chemicals can control my brain and the mind and the intellect, they have a role, they have a very lower role. But I'm different from chemical. I'm a conscious being. Chemicals are not conscious. See the difference?
Yes.
Chemicals are not the conscious. So if it means the very chemical that I take to calm down, it means chemical is always calm. It is the interaction between lot of factors. One of them, tiny factor, is the chemical. But if I, as a conscious being, I take over my mind and the intellect, where the anxiety will be.
Yeah, I told him that I didn't want to take the medicine again because I have done that in the past and it hasn't worked.
Ask you that.
Yeah.
So did you hear about neuroplasticity? One word. Second is epigenetics. So when you are doing the practice for a little longer period, maybe 1, 2, 3 years, there comes the epigenetics. It changes the DNA also. That's where I'm coming. Three terms: neuroplasticity, epigenetics, and there is a third word, neurogenesis. I'm not saying. Hundreds of research studies were done.
Okay.
And they say that it can bring about a total transformation in the mind and the brain. So we are studying the same wisdom.
Yes.
Do you remember the 8 factors? The moment you have those 8 factors, any one of these factors triggers and causes the problem. Now, I will go a little deeper later. Yeah, but briefly I would say. So we have, what we say, we have 9 obstacles because of the 8 factors. That leads us to anxious movement, reaction, anger, hesitation, and a long list. What are those obstacles? This master has written more than 2,500 years back. So remember all the 9 obstacles that the moment you experience those obstacles, any kind of physical illness is the first. Second is laziness, mental laziness, I'm saying. Everything is okay, body is relaxed, but still I don't want to do it. I hold back myself. So the moment you remember, the moment you become aware, oh, it's a mental laziness. Push your mind, do it. That is an obstacle on the path of managing, transforming your mind. Third is rigidity, toughness on certain things. No, I will not do this. I will do this only. No, I don't want to go there. So find out if the mind moves into that feeling, that thinking, it will manifest. It will manifest. You are intelligent. That's why I'm picking up this topic. 9 obstacles.
Okay.
I'm not asking you what rigidity you have, so you have to tell me in the next. The third third one, we have done illness, one. Second, we have done mental laziness. Third is the doubt, hesitation, indecisiveness. That is one of the very important factors that leads us to anxiety. Should I do that? No. Should I do this? Do this. No, should I do the practice in the restroom? No, it's very hot, so I should not do it. Mental laziness has come. No, you have to do it. So this is one example that happens suddenly in a spur of a moment in the mind. And that spur of a moment leads to 8 factors, and the 8 factors causes the anxiety. This is the way it works. But where it is working, definitely in the brain, at the level of the neuron. But who is advising the entire process? Mind. And if I give a break to the mind, it is gone. If I give it, so that is what we are giving a break. The fourth one, fifth one is carelessness, neglect, indifference. No, what should I do? I have been living into this problem for so many years. I have tried hard, so indifferent attitude. No, proactive attitude. So when the proactive attitude is there, the mind raises its alertness and awareness. And in that higher state of awareness, those 8 factors cannot enter. So you can prevent it. So just the next word is laziness is already, or sloth. There is an error of perception. There is an error of perception. Now I will have an anxiety. Why don't your mind say, now I will have peace? So you avoid talking to those people who already have an anxiety and they tell their story and you are enjoying the story. No, you are not enjoying the story. It's a feedback. You are strengthening. Okay, I will talk to you later. Let me complete this work. Don't get carried away in these situations. In the beginning, you have to keep it distance in the mind. No, I'll talk to you. Oh, I'm really sorry you have that problem, so I'll talk to you. But the moment you start taking interest and the mind says, okay, now I have a trigger. That is what happened. That is what happened on Monday. Look at it. So this is the second thing. Other is lack of determination, inconsistency, uneasiness, lack of clarity. These are the different obstacles on the path. So you see that you will not be able to recognize those 8 factors in the beginning. But if you see the blocks, these 9 blocks, these 9 obstacles leads to 4 major symptoms. You look at this master who has written it 2500 years ago. What he has written, the 4, I remember in Sanskrit, so I will say, he says, look, first is the pain. It may be a physical pain, it may be a kind of helplessness, it may be a mental and emotional pain. A kind of helplessness comes. You see that how intelligent you are in your profession, and that intelligence drops completely. See that? Look at it. So that intelligence comes from the intellect. Why? Because the intellect is being dictated by the mind. The mind contains all those symptoms and the obstacles. So now the mind has been repeating these symptoms days after days, weeks after weeks. So now the intellect says, okay, you say that I have to take decision for anxiety, I will take it. My intelligence has come. That's totally a different journey. When the intellect shines with the wisdom, with the clarity, how dare the anxiety can enter into your life? You have read, you have understood, it is unfounded. On one side, the science says it is unfounded worries, there is no basis. And then they stretch over it and then they say it is genetic. Because your father had, because your forefathers had, because you have to take charge of your life. The science is not going to take charge of your life, or not me, including me. So the first is the faint, the second is the delusion and the depression, third is the shaking of the body, and the fourth is pay attention to the non-rhythmic breathing, haphazard breathing into the chest. The moment something starts happening here, you find some squeezing, that is the haphazard zigzag breathing. So we'll pay more attention to this part in the following session. But now once you have understood, so we have 8 factors, 9 obstacles, 4 symptoms. So, but if you don't practice these things, rely on the chemicals, yes. So you are relying on the chemicals, but these impressions will continue. It becomes deeper and deeper. So even in modern psychology, they say relaxation and meditation, understanding how the mind works and how to change the mind. What we say only is simple thing. Either the mind works on you, if it works on you, you'll have innumerable problems. And when you work on the mind, you work on the scooter, or the scooter works on you. If the scooter works on you, you're gone. The entire journey focuses on this. So today we are going to repeat the previous practice, but intensively. Very intense. Are you ready for it? So the first part is that when I say that being comfortable, being carefree and casual, keep your intellect, wisdom alive, that in the first step you are not doing anything. You are not dictating anything, you are becoming aware, you are raising your awareness. Raising your awareness not towards anxiety, but towards you, real you. The real nature is full of peace and happiness. So that is the highest practice. But that highest practice does not bring the result because the mind is impure. We talked about it. Why the mind is impure? It contains all the 8 plus 9 plus 4 plus many more impressions related to the problem. So the second step will be intense, where we do the quick and fast chest breathing, we will do quick and fast belly breathing, and we will combine both. So the first part is the physical. The mind is regulating the chest movement, and the mind is also focusing deep inside the rib cage. It is looking there. 2 things. Third is, as you continue the practice, I used to do it for 9 minutes. I can do it even for 40 minutes. Sometimes what I do for chest breathing, just now I'm telling you, the moment I feel little fatigue in the body, so it takes me to reach here about 40 minutes, and I continue doing it 40 minutes. 40 minutes. So I'm asking you only for today, we are going to do it maybe 2 to 3 minutes. So now, 4th point. As you do it, the experiences changes. There are new experiences. It may be a total blankness. And because those people who are constantly living into that state of anxiety have some thoughts, they return. So kind of a blankness scares. So you need not to scare, you are in safe hands. Don't worry about it. There may be other experiences as if body is rising up, You may have a sudden experiences of vision of colors. You may have a vision of some images. Need not to worry. You are in safe hands. Clear? So you need not to worry. So that is the second step. The third step that we have designed, yes, engage the mind, 1, 2, yeah. Third step that I have engaged, that you have to do the deep, silent and slow breathing. First, you breathe into the belly, then into the rib cage. You continue unbroken breath. It will take some time. So we are doing this. Now we are engaging the mind so that it does not return to its past impression. And that needs a very high level of attention and alertness. But because the body lives into the state of relaxation and stillness, it is not a big task. Now what I did last time that I said continue breathing deep. So one inhalation you are dropping 4 times. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. While exhaling, again you are Om Shanti 4 times. So when you are doing it 4 times with a deep, silent and slow breathing, the very habit of the mind to go crazy stops. So here the mind is working on the mind through the deep, silent and slow breath. Another point? You can, I'm just giving you some information to talk to your dad. So ask him about, what about biofeedback? So when you are doing a deep, silent and slow breathing, it relaxes the brain. It acts as a respiratory biofeedback. You are inducing that relaxation. And if you are doing 5 breaths in a minute, that is very deep, silent and slow, instead of 15 and 18 breaths, which is normal for healthy individuals, if you reduce it to 5 breaths in a minute and you do it regularly, even for half an hour, there are again hundreds of research studies. Those researchers say that you are able to bring the alpha waves in the brain. The alpha wave represents a very deeper state of relaxation and calmness. But we are doing much more than that. We are adding the mantra there. So we are helping the mind to evolve, to rise to the next level of the consciousness. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let us start. Eyes are closed, the first step that we discussed. Yes, the first step that we discussed is first the position of the body. Eyes are closed. And the position of the body. Yes, that's a right position. The heels are a little far away. Now also check with awareness that the toes are hanging on the sides. And your hands are placed gently on the floor, more or less facing up, if it is comfortable. And casual, natural. Also check your shoulder joints in relationship to the floor and the mat. The hip joints. You do not squeeze your eyes. First position is done. Now the second, being comfortable. I told you the first step is extremely high, but our mind and the intellect miss that. Why they misses that? Because of the impurities, because of the heavy conditioning. And that is why every practice has certain specific steps. So mentally looking the neck joint or moving the mind on the neck joint and just be there. So first you have a feeling. Second, know that, knowledge. What kind of a feeling it is? Mind says, no, I'm at unease. So you can adjust and align the neck joint and move to the state of being comfortable and experience the steadiness. That happens in a spur of a few seconds. Because we need a very higher and a subtler awareness. And because the mind returns to the same old habit, subconsciously, habitually, but still we have to continue. Look at the shoulder joints. Move the mind on the shoulder joints. Feel the sensation. So sensation gives you the knowledge to the mind, and mind says no. Mind says yes. Experience the steadiness. Mind says no. No worries. Adjust and align. Yeah? And once you aligned it, you experience the sensation being comfortable and steadiness. The mind goes to the hip joint. Again, when I say mind goes to the hip joint, mind move the mind on the hip joint and become aware of the hip joint. It's all the same thing. Because I use different expressions so that one day the mind will pick up one expression, it will go deeper. So the hip joint sensation, knowledge, check. Comfortable, yes, and the steadiness. Elbow joints, wrist joints, and you may experience the fingers are naturally bent. There may be some kind of a deepening of the sensation. That's a good pointer that yes. So as you progress, the very first step puts your body into a deeper state of relaxation. Even in the first step, sometimes people have those visions and colors and variety of experiences. You are in safe hands, please. So need not to worry it out. Move the mind on the knee joints, same thing. You are engaging the mind. You are educating the mind. Even when you don't have those challenges, what is going to happen? It will give a very positive feedback to the brain. So even if the mind triggers the brain to have those challenges, what you're doing? You're helping your brain and the mind to prevent those triggers in the initial stages, to overpower them. That is why not only the knowledge, but also the practice. Move the mind on the ankle joints, feel the sensation, and check again, the same thing, sensation is a knowledge, is in your experience is your knowledge. So mind says, I'm okay, at ease, okay, then you are comfortable, and follows the experience of steadiness, entire body, from the top of the head to the toes. Feel sensation. So you will experience, if I use, it would be a wrong, but you can understand. It's a collective experience. The word is wrong. It means the entire body. You have a feeling, knowledge, comfortable, and then steadiness. How easy it is. the entire body, feeling sensation, being comfortable. Now we will release the impressions and the obstacles. What is this step? The next step is all about educating and empowering the mind to take over. That is what we discussed. We bypass the obstacles, symptoms, and 8 factors from the mind: patience, commitment, and regularity. Even if the symptoms appear, we continue the journey. So, look deep inside the rib cage. When you are looking deep inside the rib cage, what do you see? Simply the blankness, the space, and the darkness. And the body continues to remain in the state of sensation, being comfortable and steadiness. So while keeping your mind, keep looking inside the rib cage, center of the rib cage, in the space, and start breathing quick, gentle, short breath from the chest. Continue, quick, short breath from the rib cage. Keep looking deep inside the rib cage and the space. That space or darkness or blankness, continue. The mind will react. Oh no, I cannot do it, but do it. Mind will say no, and you say yes. So no comes from those 8 factors, 9 obstacles, 4 symptoms, and we don't want to leave it. Continue. 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 Quick, short breath, expansion and the contraction of the rib cage. And stop it. Move the mind on the entire body. Or look the body completely from the top of the head to the toes. Experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Just I'm tweaking so that we can go deeper in the following session. Move the mind on the entire body. At some parts of the body, you will feel, oh, they are really good, I feel relaxed. But other parts of the body, not so much. So our mental challenges also causes its effect on a certain part of the body that we need to recognize. They move the mind on the entire body, feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now look deep inside the belly button and start breathing long and the hissing breath from the belly. Yes, I like it. Belly goes up and belly comes down. Expansion and the contraction of the belly. When you inhale into the belly becomes a balloon, expanded balloon. When you breathe out, the belly squeezes down. With a long and little faster breath. Continue. Keep looking inside the belly button in the space. how simple it is. The body is in the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. It is comfortable. So once you maintain that stillness and the relaxation in the body, the mind cannot play its tricks on you. But at the same time, we engage the mind, educate the mind, do it long and yes, continue, long, hissing breath from the belly goes up, it expands like a balloon and it squeezes. You breathe out, the air goes out of the balloon instantly squeezes. The same pattern of the breath. Continue. And stop this. You see, the mind moves the body. It wants to trigger, even with the step in the practice. That is what we need to notice and maintain that state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. Now we have left it. So we are telling the mind, educating the mind, move the mind again on the entire body and feel the sensation, relaxation and stillness. Good. Now we are moving to the third part of this step. Move the mind inside the forehead, in the space. Keep looking into the space. You may experience some thoughts, it's okay. But the space continues even if you have a thought. Now in that state, start breathing long, deep in the hissing breath, both from the belly and the chest. First you inhale into the belly, then into the chest, long, deep breath. Exhale from the belly and the chest. Keep checking. You feel the sensation of inhalation in the belly and the chest. Inhalation. Again exhalation, the same pattern. Inhalation, exhalation, first from the belly, then from the chest. Fast, long, hissing. First, long, hissing. First, long, hissing. Continue. Continue. Long, deep in the hissing breath. Hissing means that you have a sound of the hissing of the breath. And stop this again. Move the mind on the entire body. From the top of the head to the toes. and feel the sensation, experience the relaxation and stillness. Move the mind once again, same experience. Sometimes what happens that if the practice is done correctly, it may lead you to a tingling in the numbness, freezing of the body. It is good. We need not to worry about it. It's a good way to have that experience. Now the body doesn't want to move. The mind cannot express its anxiety without the body. Now the body remains in the state of sensation, relaxation, stillness. So what happens? Feedback. The mind says, no, I want to have these challenges. Body says, I'm not supporting you. It becomes a very strong message to the mind. Now, deep, silent and slow breath. Start breathing into your belly first. Continue to inhale. Expand your ribs up to the collarbone. Exhale slowly from the belly, then from the chest. The next breath should be deeper than the previous breath. Why? To bring the rate and the rhythm of the breath down. Rate of the breath per minute down. And what is the stage that we have set? The body remains in the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. We are going to do it very deeply and intensively in the following session, this part only. Now continue deep, silent and slow breath. Engage your intellect. How? The next breath is deeper than the previous breath. What is the rule? First you inhale into the belly, then into the rib cage, and up to the collarbone. You breathe out first from the belly, from the rib cage, and what is the tagline? It is deep, it is silent, it is slow. And now, as you inhale, start dropping 4 Shanto hum on the breath. Shanto hum mentally. Shanto hum, Shanto hum, Shanto hum. So you're keeping track of the mind, doesn't invite any impurity. And while exhaling also, 4 Shanto hum. Shanto hum. Shanto hum. When you mentally sing Shanto hum 4 times, keep looking into the space. Keep looking into the space. Continue the journey. The body should remain in the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. 1. The intellect is regulating the breath 2. How it is regulating the breath? That the breath is deep, silent and slow. And the same intellect orders the mind to sing Shanto hum 4 times on the inhalation and 4 times on the exhalation. You may experience some vibes of the mind triggers the impurity and it says, no, I cannot do it. No, it is not possible. Everything is possible. Make it sure. Continue the same deep, silent and slow breath, and now drop 3 Shanto hum on the same breath. The breath is going to be deeper and deeper. So how to cover that? Singing little deeper. Shanto hum, Shanto hum, Shantuham. The mind gets more time because the breath is deeper. How the mind gets more time? Because you are doing it only 3 times. What we are doing is phenomenal in our Eastern psychology. You are asking the mind to realize and experience the space enough to deal with any challenges. When you have a space, you live in a higher level of awareness and alertness and calmness, and you can deal with anything. So I'm introducing that very principle by this practice. Continue. The intellect, you remember, the body remains in the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. And the breath continues to be deeper and deeper, and you're dropping 3 Shantuham. 3 Shantuham. I gave wonderful principle, the space. And whenever you have a space, you realize no issue at all. And now the 2 Shantuham. Breath is still deeper, continues to be deeper and deeper. So the singing tone is longer. Shantuham, Shantuham. You can also say we are tuning in the mind according to the deep, silent and slow breath. We are asking the mind, don't rush, no hurry, no worry, no curry. I'll explain you later. Shantuham, only 2. Shantuham. Mental singing is longer to cover the entire length of the breath during inhalation and during exhalation. I know you're going to enjoy this practice. Yes, you may have certain thoughts also in between, let it happen. The mind wants to play with it. You have to play with the mind. Choice is yours. So you want to work on the mind, maintain that sensation, relaxation, stillness, continue with the deep silence, slow breathing, continue to do the mental singing. And we are asking the mind, you are of the nature of such a calmness. Start doing 1 Shantuham with such a deep, long breath. And you know the singer can do it. But we can also do it. We have made the body, the breath, and the mind to do that. Only 1 Shantuham, 1 long inhalation. 1 Shantuham, 1 long exhalation. Shantuham. 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 Continue. Continue. Now leave this deep silence, slow breath, allow it to return to its natural state. No shantuham, doing nothing. Now we are moving to two more steps that are pretty higher. The higher steps are simpler, where you have not to do anything. And why? Because it is in knowledge practice. What is knowledge practice? Simple example. Are you inside the room or outside? Knowledge says, I'm inside. Become aware of the space all around your body. The space. We are having a knowledge practice that empowers the mind. There comes the journey to the neuroplasticity. So knowledge says that there is a space all around the body. Then what about the body? The mind says there is an experience of sensation, relaxation and stillness. Then we ask the mind to look inside the body from the top of the head to the toes. You may experience sensation in the space inside the body also. Maybe more sensation inside the head, maybe more sensation inside the thigh, or any part of the body for that matter. So two things we have to experience outside: sensation, relaxation and stillness that we gain and experience through the skin, and outside that body is the space, and inside the body there is a space and the sensation. So the more you are aware of the space and the sensation inside the body, it induces the state of calmness and quietness. Now become aware the mind is living within. When the mind lives within, and in that state of living within, it recognizes the wrong notion that we discussed in detail. When the mind is living within, it recognizes the wrong notion and it separates them from the right notion and the experience at this moment. The mind is living within, the past images and the thought appears, but the mind moves to the state of experiencing the state of relaxation and the stillness, calmness and quietness, because it is aware of the space and the sensation deeper inside, and there it knows the movement of the thoughts and the feeling. In that state of doing nothing, it recognizes both. Okay, challenge is past impression, no issue, and the mind instantly declares, body is already into the state of sensation, relaxation and stillness. Mind is already looking inside the body, I'm already living within in the state of the calmness and quietness. So what happens? You are separating these thoughts, feelings, the past impression from you. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, feel the sensation, know your experiences. Bring your mind to the left hand, experience the change, feel the sensation. Lift your both the palms, slowly place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside, stay there. Ask your mind, what is your experience now? And then bring the hands down.